Ask Tom on Home Show.
Rochelle from Silver Nails, New York. She needs a little mold remediation.
Well, she found a crack in her roof, Tom, and Rochelle writes, a week's worth of rain and water leaked into our cupboard. It's where they kind of keep linens and stuff, right? And this furry green mold started to appear. It is spreading up the drywall. I also noticed black spots on our windows and bamboo blinds. I'm absolutely paranoid about mold spores and equally about chemicals. How do you recommend to deal with that? I mean, what do you recommend and what do I use? He says, I prefer natural ingredients. I read vinegar and essential oils such as clove and tea work to get rid of mold. What say you, Tom?
I don't know if that'll work or not. If you want to try it, you certainly can. Vinegar is an acid. I don't think acid's the way to go. There's a product on the market that they use in hospitals and everything else to take care of these things. It's called Consan. And as far as the chemical goes, to me, that's the safest, the one that's going to really work for you. It works on everything. You can use it on fabrics. You can use it on plastics. You can use it on sheetrock, painted surfaces. And there's actually a little book on the side. It has like 40 pages. And whatever you want to do, it tells you how to mix it because it comes as a concentrate. So just mix it to directions and follow the directions. And I think that product, if it's available in your area, is by far the premier product for anybody that's going into this kind of thing. Now, the green algae and stuff, that is an algae. That's not really a mold, but you still don't want any of this. My big concern with this whole question is the leak really fixed or is it still going on? Because it sounds like it's still growing and moving and it's been fed. So clean it up and make sure your leak is fixed and if that's what the cause was. Because a 2 or 3 week leak in a roof is not going to cause a big mold issue. It'll cause water stains, which could be some of the black stains you're seeing. That's not mold. It can cause some very quick damage, like you have leaks coming through a light in a ceiling fixture or something like that, which can be cleaned up and fine, but just a couple of leaks for a couple of weeks should not be a mold issue. When you get into real mold remediation, you've got a leak that's been going on for months at a time. Shower pans is a perfect example, as many others could be, but where it's leaking and you don't know it and it's in the walls and it's growing and it's constantly fed and it goes on for a long period of time, that would be a real mold remediation problem. But something like this sounds like it's a cleanup. If you have some stains, paint it with a pigmented shellac, which is strong, so it's a chemical, but it's a great paintable vapor barrier is what you want. And then you can go ahead and repaint the areas. And if you want a cleaning product for that kind of thing, a fungicide and a mildewcide, Consan is by far the way I would go, is the one I recommend.
And for the record, it's made by Monterey. And if you can't find it in your store, go online and search for Monterey, spelled like the place, and you'll find their website. They'll sell it online to you if you can't find it in a store.
It's a great product. It's even used on plants. It's so mild that you can use it.
It is.
Plants. I'm not a plant guy, but I know they use it.
And that actually that's kind of my follow-up question about this, Tom, is that a lot of time, many times we get questions about people believing they have mold, when in actuality what they have is mildew.
Mildew it comes fast. It's black in color. It can be easily, you wash it down. And usually what I like to do is you find the source. It could be just a hot attic where you have some reaching dew point, got a little dirt on there, a little mildew grows. If you can wipe it down and clean it off, it's not a mold issue. Mold is something that grows inside of the product, say a sheetrock, and grows from the back to the front and becomes real purple and super, almost perfectly round in the way it starts to blotch itself. It's a Stachybotrys mold that does that, and there's a Penicillium type that does it too, but it is a true growth. It's not something on the surface that you can wipe off and say it's gone. If you can wipe it off even with your finger, it's just a mildew, or sometimes you get a little moss or something you get on trees, but that's for the outside, but usually it's just a mildew.
And you would still use... And is that something you see? Yeah. Let me get that off the lens there. But that's still something that you would use the Consan on to clean up if it's just mildew?
Sure.
Okay.
You can use bleach. You can use soap and water. You can use Simple Green. There's a lot of great products. Simple Green is a great product for people who want to go very neutral and real basic and in a green kind of way. It is simple green. Consand's another one. There's a lot great. There's a lot of good cleaning products out there that aren't really harsh. Alcohols, acids, ammonias, they're very harsh, even though some of them are somewhat natural, like a vinegar is an acid. But it'll tear surfaces up if you're not careful. And people use bleach as a scrubber, and it's not, and it'll burn grout black. But it does have the chlorine gas, and you never mix alcohol with chlorine. Then it's World War I in the trenches again. So you got to be careful with some of them. But there's some good ones out there.
Mm-hmm. You never eat anything with a vinegary sauce and drink red wine either, because it neutralizes water. Just good. We like to be a full service show here at Home Show Radio.
But then that's the baking soda in water time to balance and neutralize all the acids.
There you go. All right, you got a question? We'll help you out. We handle it all. Click that Ask Tom button and decide whether you want to send us a video or send it to us in writing. But do what you're seeing here. Send us a picture, because it helps us understand what's going on with you. And it's easy. We put that button right there at the bottom there. Pictures help, and they really do. And we want to help you. That's why Tom answers another question every day, and we post them to our YouTube channel, the Home Show Radio YouTube channel, with maybe that's where you found this. And if maybe you found it at homeshowradio.com, go over to the YouTube channel, because there's a bazillion videos just like this answering questions, because that's what we want to do. And, of course, be sure to visit us at homeshowradio.com.